What's up, BarCode patrons? Hey, if you haven't heard, we're up for a People's Choice Podcast Award. To vote, just visit podcastawards.com, click on the button to vote, and choose BarCode under the technology category. Thanks for all your votes in advance, and as always, the support is greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it.
You're listening to the BarCode Podcast with your host, Chris Glandon, serving cybersecurity straight up with no chaser. Let's hit the bar and grab a drink.
Hey, Tony. Thank God I made it. I've been waiting for this fight, bro. Just got here in time. Hey, turn it up a notch for me.
Oh, hey, man, you got it. Oh, Chris, this is my new bartender, Bruna. You know how fight night gets around here, so I had to ramp up my bartending staff.
Hi, Chris. It's nice to meet you. You can call me Bru.
Oh, hey, Bru. Where's your accent from?
I'm from Brazil, a city in the south called Curitiba.
Oh, yeah? Wow. Home of some of the best MMA champs the world has ever seen. You got my boy Spider Silva, the Axe Murderer, and Fabricio Verdun. As you can tell, I'm a big MMA fan, and tonight, these Jiu-Jitsu fighters coming out are just as elite. I'm pumped up for this fight.
You see that? You know I don't hire no slacker, Chris. And she could probably kick both our asses too, so watch it.
Yeah, dude. Well, hey, it's like 9,000 degrees outside. I need a drink, something refreshing and light. Let me get a mojito or something like that.
Oh, no. You don't want a mojito. I got something better for you. But Tony doesn't have the skills for this one, so if you don't mind, let me make this one for you. It's a real authentic Brazilian Caipirinha. It's great.
Oh, okay, I see how it is.
Yeah, sounds legit. I'll take one of those.
You got it. You take a sliced up lime, smash it with some sugar, add ice and lots of cachaça.
Bom pra cacete.
Be careful, that drink will put you to sleep faster than a triangle choke.
Oh, for real? Let me try one.
Oops, I'm sorry, Tony, my shift's over.
All right, I got shit to do anyway.
Thanks, Bru. Tony, I actually recognize these guys down at the end of the bar. I know they're here for the fight, too. I'm gonna go stop by, see who they got.
All right, Chris. Well, I'll see you round two.
I am here with 3 top-tier cybersecurity professionals and active Jiu-Jitsu practitioners. Each bring a special set of deadly skills, and I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be working with them and not against them in the cyber cage. Jeremiah Grossman, Jeremiah Batac, and Tyler Bohlmann.
It's time!
So interesting running into you guys here. I'm getting ready to watch this big fight, this main event. I'm pumped up, even more pumped to be able to chat with you guys today. Real quick, would you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Jeremiah Batac here. Current involvement in cybersecurity. I have my own cybersecurity academy training company that I help out, new graduates or anyone who would like to transition to cybersecurity. We help them out. No PowerPoint slides, no books involved. Just you come into the office in our classroom, and we'll tell you and we'll show you how to run the software, install the software, troubleshoot the software, and hands-on, all hands-on. And experience in the BJJ realm. I've been training for almost close to 9 years now. Still a purple belt, working on getting that brown belt. So I train, Monday, Tuesday, pretty much every day, and teach BJJ kids on the weekends, to share my knowledge to the, future black belts.
Oh, okay. So I'm Jeremiah Grossman. I've been in computer security for about 20 years now. I got into computer security by accident because I was one of those kids that you hear about that hacked Yahoo and got a job instead of arrested by the FBI. So that was pretty good. Took what I learned from Yahoo there, which was a spectacular job, and I started a little company called White Hat Security that I grew over the next 15 years until it was sold. Over that period, I've been training martial arts my whole life, mostly kickboxing when I was younger, but I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu about 15 years ago on an invite from a friend. He goes, let's go try this UFC Jiu-Jitsu thing out. And took a class, thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I got strangled mercilessly over and over again by a 50-year-old grandma. So I had to keep trying and keep coming back. And it took me about 10 years to get a black belt. So I've been training about 15 years now. And in my travels, because I get to speak a lot about information security all over the world. So I always travel with my gi, and I've visited like 50 different academies now around the world, get to train with everybody. So it's pretty cool life so far.
Nice.
I'm Tyler Bohlmann. I started out in IT around 8 or 9 years ago, doing like a lot of desktop support, help desk things. Found security around five years ago, and now I'm an incident handler for a managed detection and response company called Red Canary. And started Jiu-Jitsu 2019. Was only able to do it or pursue it for a year before the pandemic hit. So I essentially know nothing and get choked out on the regular. So it's been
Oh man, well, it's an honor, gentlemen. This main event's getting ready to start. I know you know these two highly skilled fighters that are walking into the cage right now, and I'm curious, how important is the preparation aspect and understanding your opponent and their strengths in a jiu-jitsu match? Or if you're in a tournament style, I guess, and you do not know who your next opponent is, how can you gain that competitive edge? And would you say there are any similarities to how an organization can help prepare for a cyber attack?
From my personal experience, usually bad experiences to start with, when I go in unprepared and lose badly, I have found that whether it's in business or jiu-jitsu or anything else, that preparation matters a lot. The more you train, the more you practice, the more you study. When it comes time to use it, you'll be just that much more prepared, that much calmer, and know what you're looking for. If it's a particular jiu-jitsu match, MMA fight, or whatever, I figure that there's only one thing really I can control. Like, I can't control how big or strong the other person is. I can't control how good they are. I can't control what move they do or the strategy they employ. The only thing I can control is me. And that means training as hard as I can, getting my cardio way up, and just learning all the skills that I can if I can't study who exactly am I fighting. And, it's one thing, to lose. I just don't want to lose because I'm tired. That's like the most humiliating thing to happen is a tap due to tiredness. If I just lose because I'm not as good, fine. But I find that if I can stay in the fight and keep fighting longer than anybody else, that sooner or later the other person will break and I can win just because I showed grit and determination.
I can piggyback on what Jeremiah just shared. My mindset is, if I am not training or preparing, my opponent is getting stronger and I am not. As simple as that. You cannot be complacent, in this, martial arts, because there's always new attacks that are being developed, and if you don't know how this attack is being applied, you're gonna get choked out, or your arm's gonna be broken, or you're gonna be put to sleep. In cybersecurity, preparation is everything, because there's no single point of solution that will basically solve everything. And I can relate that in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or MMA or any martial arts, right? You cannot be versed in one thing and then just leave the rest and do not train for them. You have to train holistically. And actually, it's a 3 approach process, right? You have to train. You have to also get your mind in check as well, and then what you eat, basically. Because you can train all you want, if you don't sleep and eat properly, you can train all you want, but your body's not going to keep up with the amount of stress and what you do in preparation. So there's a lot of angles to be considered.
And when you think of offense and defense, right? I guess in the same as in cyber, in order to properly defend, you're going to need to know those moves that are getting thrown at you, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, if Jeremiah is about to throw a triangle at me, I know my body's going to tell me I need to posture up, right? So he cannot close that in. But if he trains triangle attack, like, 1,000, 10,000 times, if, I am behind and I don't train myself, he'll be able to choke me out pretty easy. So,
one of the things that you just sparked a memory, it's like, I know what a triangle is. You know what a triangle is.
Mm-hmm.
Chris knows what it, everybody's going to know what a triangle is. One of the things that happens is speed of reaction time. And that's the same as cyber.
Yeah.
I see it coming, and if he can posture faster, then I can pull his head down.
Yes.
Same in cyber. If I see something that can react quickly, that's going to be advantageous to me.
Yeah. Like, what are the IOCs of a triangle?
Yeah, there you go.
Do I have like one arm in and he has both of his legs around my head? Like, am I in danger type of thing? Mm-hmm. And so knowing, all right, being able to identify that up front and then, initiating the escape for that specific attack will help you out that much more.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to be on Google doing like, what's the IOC?
Yeah. It's too late by then.
Let me watch that YouTube video on how Ryan Hall will get out of this. I'm like, no, that's not how it
works. Yeah, you got to have that quick response time.
Yeah, because once you're breached, it's just a matter of time, right? Because the guys will be, moving, will be doing lateral movement, or trying to encrypt some of the data, and every minute counts.
So, all right. Well, now we have both fighters in the cage. They're locked in. There's no turning back. And now it's just simply relying on what they've been taught. When you talk about training, how often do you guys train and learn new techniques? And how would you say the importance of training relates to cybersecurity as well?
That's where it gets a little complicated, because it's maybe not exactly the same as fighting or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If you're a competitive fighter, you're training to peak. You're keeping in shape all the time, and you train to peak at one particular moment on one particular day. I will compete sometimes, but more often than not, I'm competing. I'm doing Jiu-Jitsu for longevity, for life, for self-defense. So I'm always trying to maintain a baseline. So for me, my body can physically only tolerate 4 to 5 classes max per week before I start to break down. It's just Jiu-Jitsu is very hard on the body. And then, but I can do other things in the meantime. So if I do 3-4 classes Jiu-Jitsu a week, 2 weight trainings and some cardio, that's pretty good for me, and probably is for most people.
But you would say it's consistent training.
Oh, consistent.
You can't take time off.
You can take a week here, take some vacation a week here, 2 weeks here. You're going to pay for it when you come back as Jiu-Jitsu. And what it does to your body, you pay for it. Like, anybody that does Jiu-Jitsu will tell you, like, you come home from training, you feel like you've been in a car wreck.
Yeah.
Like, every time, and it doesn't go away. You only become accustomed to it. Like, if you feel like that, okay, I had a good training session, as long as you don't get injured or anything like that. But consistently, like everything else, I don't think there's a day that goes by I'm not reading something about InfoSec in one time or another. I'm learning all the time. The moment I don't, I start to slip.
I love what you shared, Jeremiah. When you stop training, right? So I have this one guy. I did train lunchtime, 12 to 1, and this guy came from a vacation, a week vacation. And we're both purple belts, but, we're always neck to neck. We try to kill each other when we, get into sparring sessions. And today he was really upset because I got him on a zipper choke, right? So it was like, man, I was out for a week and now I'm back. And then now you got me on a zipper choke. Before, you cannot even, take my back. I can all escape. And I can relate that in cybersecurity, right? The moment you take, a day off and be complacent on where, let's say you already build your defenses, it's up. Oh, I'm good. I can relax now and then, just focus on something else, or my hobbies or something. And, the attacks can come at you and then unexpectedly. If you are not, ready, then, you're going to pay for it. Definitely.
Yeah. your training partners at the gym, they just wait for you to come back. Oh, he's out for a little bit. I can't wait till he comes back so I can roll with him again to show him, my new stuff.
Yeah.
And so, it's the same thing in InfoSec. Like, the adversary is always getting better. They're always, have a few different tricks up their sleeve. So, always trying to catch you off guard.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed, it's there's a lot of frustration in both InfoSec and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training. A lot. Like, I'll be in the academy, 3-4 days a week, an hour and a half, 2 hours of training, each time. And you know what? You're still getting tapped. You can't tap anybody. There's a frustration that lends itself in. Then what happens is something really interesting. A white belt comes into the academy, and you tap a bigger, stronger person, and you tap them with ease. Mm-hmm. One thing that we lose, I think, in InfoSec and Jiu-Jitsu is the point of reference. Everybody that you're training with is coming up at the exact same time and generally the exact same rate, and you can't really tell until you get the point of reference. So in InfoSec, we study this all the time. Things are happening. We're reading articles, trying new techniques. We actually don't really appreciate all the stuff that we know until we try to bring up a newcomer. And you don't know that command or you don't know this concept. I think the other Jeremiah here, he does training for a living, so he's going to be aware of this. It's like, it's really tough sometimes to go to understand what you actually know that other people don't.
Yes, I agree. That's why you cannot miss mat time, man. I mean, mat time is not gonna lie, man. You can talk all you want. You can wear all the collar belts that you want, but when we go on the mat, I mean, it's not gonna lie. It will show what your level is at. So
I'm not too proud to say, if I'm out for a little while, I'll go back into no-gi class. I don't have to show my black belt to anybody.
Just to be safe.
Okay, I'm not going to tap with the black belt.
Yeah, because when you have a black belt, right? It comes with there's a respect to it, right? But I think I am more respectful of black belts that are more, have a teaching heart. And I see that in Jeremiah. And if it done a lot of events to share, the culture of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, I think that I can relate that in cybersecurity because what we do right now, right, is in my, cybersecurity training company, NextSec Tap, right, we are not hiding what we know because a lot of the, high-level, cybersecurity professionals, they hoard information and, they want to be the big dogs and, they want to be like the, quote unquote experts, right? I like to share that information, so that, other customers or other companies, they'll be aware of these certain attacks and then they will learn how to protect their networks from being, maliciously taken advantage by these, bad actors like hackers and malware, actors, for good, only for their main purpose is to gain money and destroy and take advantage of other people.
So this is round one. It's getting good. Both fighters seem to be relaxed yet very aggressive and extremely skilled in their focus, breathing, and even their escapes. How important is it for martial artists to be well-rounded in their skill set yet continue working to improve?
In fighting, there's going to be generally 3 distances. There's going to be striking distance when you're standing, and that's where everything starts. Then you're likely to go to and striking, for the most part, boxing and Muay Thai wins as far as a most efficient, effective martial art. Then when you get into clinch, when you're still standing but you're right on top of somebody, it's usually going to be wrestling and judo wins. Those seem to be the most effective, so that's a range. And then finally, when you take it to the ground, jiu-jitsu is going to win. So if you're a minute in and you're, yourself and you have a general idea what your opponent's good at, if you're better standing up, keep the fight standing. If you're not as good standing up, clinch and take them to the ground, and hopefully you're better there. Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, if you're not well-rounded and at least somewhat well-versed in all areas, that other person's going to do that to you. They're going to find where you're weak and take you to that spot and exploit it.
Now, if your strategy is striking, you're a better striker than your opponent, and say that you're well-rounded, but that's really your special skill, right? If you get an opponent that knows how to defend that, I mean, what do you lean on at that point?
It depends on the fight. It depends on the fighter for me. If I'm better at striking and they're just better at defense, I'm going to keep throwing shots until I get lucky. You're playing a numbers game. You're going to land something eventually. At least I'm probably not going to get hit. That's good.
And also, this is where, preparation comes in, right? I mean, you're not going to go into a fight not, trying to imagine all of the possible scenarios. What if, and sometimes YouTube now is available, and some of the fighters, they can look at, the other fighters, how they fight. They learn from that. They learn their opponent, and then they can incorporate that into training. They might not do the same moves they did with the other fighters, but you are aware, oh, this guy likes to do this. So, I'm going to incorporate it in my training. And just in case if he will do it, I know what kind of movements I'm going to do. And if your opponent will go back to the old ways and then you train for it, oh, that's it. I mean, they're basically trap themselves, into that hole, and then you exploit that.
And, some fighters are better at the start. Some fighters are better on a long fight. It just depends on their temperament, their style, their wind, their cardio. For a jiu-jitsu fight, black belt jiu-jitsu fights are 8 to 10 minutes normally. So when I train in the academies, I'm trying to get my cardio to the point where at 80% exertion, I can do 10 minutes and not be tired. If I can't do that, I'm not tournament ready.
That is correct, because losing when you're tired is the most devastating loss, because you're going to beat yourself. I should have trained. I should have did cardio more. It's a lot more painful to lose when you're tired. But if the guy is better, submit you. Okay, yeah. I mean, he's the better guy, right? But if you submit because you just ran out of gas, it's horrible.
Yeah.
To add to that, I think what you guys said are spot on. Knowing your limitations, what you're good at and what you're not good at. So if you're really bad, off your back, let's just drill that position. Just do some positional sparring, practice your escapes from there, etc. It's the same with cybersecurity. How well do you know your environment? What security controls do I have in place? Do I need to augment some of that out to a third party that's maybe better at that than I am? Or maybe I don't have the staff to perform that lift for me, or we're not that good at it, type of thing, etc.
One of the things that Tyler he hasn't been training as long as Jeremiah and I have, is temperament and cardio and how those play a role. So I imagine if Tyler's been training 1.5 years consistently, or even Jeremiah too, your guys' cardio is going to be way superior to mine. But somebody with superior cardio, I can stay calm, very, very calm, and outlast somebody with better cardio that spazzes out.
Correct. Yeah. It's a fine balance, because I remember when I started jiu-jitsu, I'm always 100%. When I was, my first week, second week, and then they coined a term at the gym, Disciple MMA. They call me, the bull, because when I roll, I'm spazzy. I'm always 100% trying to win, the worlds, But dude, we're only training, dude. We are only sparring. Calm down. But after 2 minutes, the guy, the 12-year-old looking dude, will go on top of me and then do an armbar. I might be winning for the first 2 minutes, right? Because I'm 100%. But after 2 minutes, I'm done. That is pretty much it. Because I didn't know, my limits. And going back to what Tyler's, he made a great point. If you don't know what your environment looks like in cybersecurity, you will not have a better picture on how you can, take advantage all of your security points, to protect your data or your network.
So again, Tyler will know this. So a jiu-jitsu class will be an hour or maybe 2 hours, depending on your school. And, you'll do some warm-ups, you'll do some drills, you'll learn some moves, and you'll spar, depending on the academy, maybe 30, 45 minutes of sparring, depending. Your first 6 months of training, you're lucky if you make it 10 minutes without having to throw in the towel and go wait on the side because that's all you got. And it's true at InfoSec, how often do systems need to be secure? Well, like 24/7, so you have to really pace yourself, pace your knowledge, all the way. There's a lot in our industry has a lot of burnout. It's a lot to learn. It's very stressful. It's high speed. And you have to learn how to have the right temperament through it all. That mistakes are going to happen. Breach is going to occur. You're going to have really bad days, but you have to kind of be okay with that and go come back the next day and do it again.
Yeah. Jeremiah Batac made a great point with the appearance of your opponent as well. So there's an age difference here in this fight that we're watching right now. And on paper, I would say it's an easy win. But I've seen, fights that look opposite on paper, yet it's, it's never too late to overcome your opponent, I think.
Yeah.
How would you guys relate that to cyber and just being in the industry?
I guess with age doesn't necessarily mean training time. Someone might just have started later in life. So I like going by training time rather than strictly age. And if you're going by training time, then that other person's just going to probably have known and seen a lot more. So they have to use that to their advantage to find what the younger person, the lesser trained person is going to be weak at, to find something that they haven't seen before. The other way, if you're approaching someone that has, more training time but less cardio, then you're going to have to come really hard, really fast, and hope to just overwhelm them where they can't deal with all the things and just the speed or the ferocity, and maybe that's how you win.
Yeah, I'd say age is kind of a moot point. I don't think it really determines anything. And both, for example, in Jiu-Jitsu, I got paired up with a 10-year-old kid, and I was like, dude, this would be easy. Right? I just said, don't get choked out by a 10-year-old. He goes to do a cartwheel pass that I wasn't expecting, and then immediately gets into side control. And I had no idea what happened. Same thing with InfoSec. If you're starting later, you could bring a fresh perspective if you're, new in an organization that maybe one of the senior analysts might not have thought about. So, new people in the industry is always a great thing. They always bring a fresh perspective on things, especially if they come from a different industry. So always give you a different way to think about things and kind of challenge your confirmation bias, so to speak.
Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, did you see that takedown?
Yeah.
See, that's what this guy does. Seems like every one of his fights, he gets this guy in a triangle.
The way I think about someone taking another person down in a fight, the person on top might think that the person they have on the ground is in a disadvantage. But if they don't know that the person on the bottom is very good at jiu-jitsu, then they might be in for a bad day. They might have a wicked closed guard game. They're very offensive off of their back, so they might be in for a big surprise off of that. However, the person on top, if they're able to break out of that closed guard and pass the legs into side control or mount, comparing that to cybersecurity, they're in the initial access phase of an attack. Maybe they are, breaching someone's OWA login page that's exposed on the internet that you forgot about. Maybe doing that, and then now they're internally in your internal production environment, starting moving around to see where they can go and what's available.
You're basically saying if someone gets taken down, that's not really the end of the fight, right? There's still ways to control that and win the fight.
No, yeah, there's you can win off your back. Definitely, it's not the end at all. Just another phase.
And I think, right, if let's say someone takes me down, right? Actually, this happened. A real story a couple of weeks ago. Group of firefighters, they visited our gym, and then, they were, young, strong, athletic. And here I am, 39-year-old, just limping through, the training. They come in and, I got partnered with this guy, twice my size, buff dude. And, right off the bat, this guy runs and then do a double takedown. And then I fell, right? But I got a guillotine choke set up on him. But, man, I tell you what, I'm not going to lie. That takedown was a bitch. I had to wake up my heart. Yo, get back in the game, man. But, what Jeremiah said, even if, you get taken down, the game is not done yet. Okay. So I know what this is because, based from the training, everyday training that I've done. So I was able to control my emotions. I was more calmer, right? So I was just holding him there. And then I'm just going to see what he's going to do, right? I was just holding him. I'm not wasting a lot of energy. And, I was just being calm. Okay, you know what? I think he's keeping his neck exposed. I can actually choke him out here, which I did. And he tapped. And, everyone was shocked because his friends, they know him at the gym. He's like a beast in the gym. And then, he gets choked out by a 39-year-old dad bod, individual. And, they can't believe it. They were like, oh my God, this guy choked him out, So what I can relate to that in cybersecurity, right? Let's say a breach happened. A real cybersecurity professional will be able to calm down, assess what's going on, what was attacked, what server was compromised, what sensitive information we have here. Being able to be able to calm down, assess what's going on, take control, and then take action, right? Because I cannot go toe-to-toe with this guy. Obviously, he's stronger than I am, right? And way bigger than I do. But, just being calm, and I know what the situation is. And then I was able to defeat him because of, just basically, being calm. Simple as that.
As I was listening to Tyler and Jeremiah here, it's kind of interesting. So in Jiu-Jitsu, they teach that there's kind of 4 stages to the fight. There's the takedown. Then you pass, you establish control, typically either side control, mount, back, and then you finish the fight with a submission. Those 4 steps. It sounds very simple. It can go a million different ways, but it's those 4 steps. It's very similar to InfoSec in that particular way. First you do recon, find a vulnerability, exploit it, pivot, and then find the thing that you're really after and go get that. Any step of the way, the defending system, the defender can be better than you. In the case of the story Jeremiah just told, the guy's takedown was better than Jeremiah's takedown defense. But right when it hit the ground, when there was time for the person to pass, Jeremiah was better at submitting in that position from the other person doing defense. So he wins. That's all the same thing. If the adversary does reconning your system and learns everything about you, fine. If they exploit after a week of work and you kick them off the system in a minute, well, that's exactly what you wanted. I mean, all of a sudden they're spending hours, weeks for you to kick them off in a minute. That's how you want it to go. And he just said it there. That guy's been in the gym, for months to take him down and he gets subbed in 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. The beauty of jiu-jitsu, right?
So, yeah, I think you guys are right because this guy just lasted. Now it's round 3. I'm personally surprised how agile and alert these guys still look. Doesn't look like they burn too much energy at all. So we talked about this a little bit before, but just conservation of energy and being able to keep focus during an attack like this, whether it's in the cage, whether it's in your organization. What helps you get into the mindset of just staying calm and being able to act rationally? Are there exercises that you can do to be prepared for the onslaught that's coming your way?
2 things come to mind. In jiu-jitsu competition, yes, losing because I'm tired, that's pretty bad. But I never want to have the feeling that I should have done this, I should have tried more, should have taken more chances in the fight. I want to leave everything out there on the mat, at the end of the fight, win or lose. That's what I want to be doing. And, I've gotten to train lots and lots of pro MMA fighters, world champions, and train with them and things like that. And the way we have always approached the training is the training that they endure. They'll train with a lot of other black belts, and the training that they're meant to endure is meant to be far harder than that fight will ever be. They're going double rounds, 100% effort with fresh guys every minute. The training will be far harder. And so as they go through that, as they build their confidence, as they get more experience in fighting, you'll naturally just calm down because you've seen it all. You're not tired. You're not winded. And you're still hanging on. Like that's, I think that's InfoSec in a nutshell, really.
Mm.
Isn't that what the pen test is? That's the simulation.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come at me hard with everything you got. You might win, you might not. But if I lose, fine, I'll try it again.
Yeah. Pen test, red team, purple team, tabletop exercises, like however you want to call it. That's all training for you to prepare on how to properly respond to, an incident and mitigate that incident as much as you can to the best of your ability, so that you don't have to call IR at that point, and spend a bunch of money.
And that's what always puzzled me, really. Like when the defense side got emotional because they lost a pen test. You're supposed to lose. That's where you
that's
learn.
The exercise, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah. Do it again tomorrow, and then again the next day. And guarantee you, at some point, office is going to struggle and not want to come in the next day. It's not want to spend the week, the month it takes to to burn down your systems. But that's what it's for.
He tapped.
Oh wow!
It's all over. Tell me that was not a good fight, man. Walk me through that last minute. Jeremiah, what did you see as the key to victory?
I think the key to victory is the guy was prepared for it. I know they both prepared, but the guy was more, he did a better execution, right? Because you can plan all you want, and if your execution is not, on point, nothing's going to happen. And also, if you are not going to stick to the plan, right? A lot of things can go sideways. So him by, going in, checking out, doing a recon on his opponent, he's good at striking. He figured that out. So he had to do a takedown, put him to the ground. And then he was able to reverse the position and then, get him on a triangle. And, so I think what the other guy should have done is as soon as he got to the triangle, he should have postured up and then try to, push the legs and then, try at least fight that position. And unfortunately, he was not able to perform that. So the other guy won and got a tap. Like in Jiu-Jitsu, like what Jeremiah said, it's actually easy. Take your opponent to the ground because the ground is a neutral position for anyone, right? When you put someone to the ground, if they're like like any martial arts, they know they will not be able to leverage their arsenal, right? Because they're against the ground. But what's the best about Jiu-Jitsu is that's how we fight. We learn how to fight in the ground. That's why a lot of guys now are learning on how to fight Jiu-Jitsu because of that, reason. And, after he was able to establish control, break his posture down and then, put everything closing in. If he's not going to tap, he's going to go to sleep. So it doesn't really matter. So, he respected that. He was aware of what's going on. So he tapped and, sticking to the plan, being calm and also executing the plan according to what you have been training. I think that's what, made the other guy a better fighter.
Would you say that's defense in depth?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
So as we wrap up here, guys, any last words of wisdom? What are you guys up to? Where can our listeners find you online? Jeremiah, I know you got the Black Hat event typically. I mean, let us know what your plans are there. COVID killed the 2020 event. So for those that don't know, I run it started out just as a bunch of friends getting together doing jiu-jitsu at security conferences, and it grew into something much bigger. So I call it the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Smackdown, where anybody in InfoSec wants to come and train jiu-jitsu with us, they can. We have first-timers, we have black belts, and everybody in between. We usually take over an academy that's run by Forrest Griffin and Stefan Bonner. And
nice.
We had Frank Mir last year. And we have about 50 to 60 people show up, all InfoSec pros, some, just red teamers, practitioners, newcomers. You have CISOs at companies, and no one really knows who's who unless you know the people, and everybody trains together. It's a very it's a fun event. I'm not able to do it this year. The black hat numbers are down. We're still in the midst of COVID. But provided we get out of this bizarro world that we're in, I plan to come out hard for the 10th event in 2022. So I'm gonna go off that next year.
Nice. I'll be there. Just have the oxygen tank ready for me.
And a wheelchair.
No, I'll be there. Definitely, man. I've been looking forward to it. I wasn't able to make the ones before. I think, Tyler, you said you're going to try to make it out there next time.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah as well. So it'll be a fun event.
Yeah, now that I have a Jeremiah Grossman behind me, man, I can go anywhere. Yo, Jeremiah Grossman is my bro. You gotta recognize.
Unstoppable. I was going to say, if you want to talk about your academy a little bit, Jeremiah, and let us know what you're doing over there.
Yeah, so our main goal is to basically, number one, I was born and raised in the Philippines, so my goal is to make cybersecurity training free for less fortunate kids that are in grade school, high school, or even college as well. We are in the process of working with other universities in the Philippines to make the contents available for them for free, because cybersecurity education is so expensive and is not accessible for everyone. And also, there's not a lot of guidance. So that's what's missing. And I am that gap, I'm bridging that gap. And, I'm not all about money. I'm more about, shaping the future of cybersecurity, our cybersecurity professionals, because, like right now, I'm helping out a bank, right? So if I don't help them correctly, then I'm actually a customer of them. So, I will pay for it if, the bad guys will be able to exfiltrate or, breach their network. So, here at NetSec Tap, we actually the name too, right? I incorporated, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in it, network security tap. So we tap those, things that are maliciously happening, or the bad actors. That's why we are training, kids, anyone we can train. We actually have 3 trophy students that came to us not knowing any cybersecurity. Now they're making 6-figure salary, man. I mean, we are really proud of them. And, just to touch, lives through cybersecurity, and actually also BJJ, right? My ultimate goal is to have my own kids' BJJ academy, and share my knowledge. I know I'm not I'm not well experienced like Jeremiah. I would like to learn a couple of techniques from you as well. But yeah,
nice, man.
Thanks, Chris, for using this platform. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And Tyler, what do you got going on?
I don't really have anything to plug. I'm like these two guys. I'm sort of active on LinkedIn. I'm really passionate about helping others make it into cybersecurity as well. So
nice.
Happy to talk about my experience and how I got into the industry. So if that helps out anyone, feel free to hit me up.
Awesome. Now that this fight's over, I'm going to grab my drink, and I got a question for each one of you. Well, first question is, what is your drink of choice? If you drink. If you don't drink, tell me what type of coffee you like.
I'm a Hennessy guy, man. I can finish a bottle with no side effects. I don't know why, but the bottle of Hennessy, man. I mean, whenever we go, events for a work, I just go Hennessy neat, and everyone leaves me alone. They know, oh, this guy means business.
I rarely drink. However, I have been to Brazil, Sao Paulo, and they introduced me to something called the Caipirinha. It's distinctly Brazilian, and so when I drink, I'll have those.
Nice.
Very good. How about you, Tyler?
I like beer. So I'm like an hour north of San Diego. So there's a bunch of craft breweries down there. I also like whiskey, particularly Scotch. So like Macallan or like Glenlivet.
How about this proper 12? This is, I'm drinking this in honor of my boy Connor. He's coming back.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I went out on a bad note. So last question, because I'm hearing last call here at the bar. You guys have time for one more?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right. If you opened a cybersecurity themed bar, what would the name be, and what would your signature drink be called?
Oh, dang. He's popped his hand.
I can go with this one. It's really catchy, man. Tap or snap. Jeremiah can relate to that. He likes that.
I think after you drink, it's like a tap or nap or something.
There you go.
So hold on. Does that mean that all you're going to have in the bar is beer taps?
Yeah.
That's it, right? I like it. And what would your drink be? What's on tap?
I actually like this. We have a local Ox Brewery beer facility. They have a cream number 9, and it's just so it tastes like water, but it kicks like a horse.
Oh wow!
So I love it.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. It's just unassuming, like us, right? Jiu-Jitsu fighters, right? We go out, simple t-shirt, simple shorts, slippers, and then, they don't know what they're going to get if they're going to get into a scuffle with us. So I like it.
And you get knocked out.
Yeah. Or put to sleep.
You just don't mess with the chillest guy in the bar because he's probably the best.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's probably a cheesy name, but I actually like the name. It was actually an actual place in the Bay Area for a while called the Hacker Dojo.
Oh, nice.
It was, imagine like, a martial arts academy, but it was hacker stuff and things like that, electronics and computers and programming books. And it's got like part cafe, part hacker lab. And I just like the whole concept, the feel of the place. And if I ever had a place to go for people to drink and around, like-minded people, it'd be something like that.
That's nice.
That's nice. I like that.
There.
Yeah, I don't really know. The only thing that comes to mind is like my domain name for my blog, Playing with Packets. Can't really think of anything else though at the moment.
That's all right. What's the URL? Playingwithpackets.com?
.com, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. All right, fellas. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate all of your time, your insight. I'll see you on the mat soon, and take care, everyone.
That was fun. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good to be with you guys.
Yeah, nice to see you guys again.
BarCode patrons, if you like this episode and would like to support the podcast, rate us on Apple Podcasts and visit our Patreon site, patreon.com/BarCode podcast. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, check out the barcodepodcast.com/sponsor. Cheers.
Unfortunately, it's time to shut the bar down for this episode. Thanks for stopping in. See you next time. We'll save you a seat. Be sure to check us out at thebarcodepodcast.com.